feeling good, like I should.
Let me check my chest, my breath right quick. He ain't never seen it in a dress.
I am loving how this makeup is filming on camera. I feel like my skin looks so good. I cannot wait to show you guys this video. Get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this look, how to highlight and contour using a cream palette and a powder palette as well. I'm really excited to get into this video because I feel like this is like highlighting and contouring 101. I'm going to be showing you guys tips and tricks on how to know where to place like a contour and a highlight. These are just things that I've kind of like learned over the years, or I've seen on TikTok, YouTube, certain things that kind of just like help me find where to place everything pretty much. But yeah, so I'm excited to get into this video. Let's get straight into it and make sure to keep on watching. So to start this off, the first thing that we're going to do is go in with our Milk Hydro Primer. This is going to be really good just to make sure that we are going to be making our makeup last all day. So I did about 3 pumps. Stuff is so good. I literally do it on like days where I work probably 10, I don't even know, maybe I'll be up for like 10 hours and out and about. Literally my makeup will last me all day. It's so good. Ever since I found this, I haven't really been wanting to try like any other primer. For this look, for the highlighting and contouring, I really just wanted to focus on where to put it at. So this is the Anastasia Cream Contour Kit, and this is in the shade Medium. The first one that I'm gonna go in with is this shade in the middle called Banana. I go straight in with this Makeup by Mario brush. This is the F1 brush, and I'm gonna use this little one on the end here. It's super small. I feel like it's perfect just for like getting underneath the eyes. And what we're gonna do is take a little bit of that on the brush, and we're gonna kind of stipple it just underneath the eye. So this will be really good just because when it's under your makeup, under your concealer, under your foundation, it'll be really good just to kind of add a little bit more brightness and a little bit more depth in the cheeks once we do put the contour on. I love this banana cream because I feel like if I'm like looking really tired or I have really dark circles under my eyes, it is like perfect just to make you look super woken up, and I feel like it makes you look you had a full like nights of rest. I need to do a life update video. I literally feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a little bit, and a lot has happened. I got a puppy and I will be introducing him soon. Probably not this video, but the next. I literally call him Baby Shark because I feel like he wants to bite everything. When I tell you everything, like anything and everything that he can find, it does not matter. The next place that I'm going to highlight is forehead area. So now I'm going to highlight around my forehead area. And the way that I do this is I'll do like a line going down my nose and kind of like make a circle on the top of that just so that it'll add a little bit of brightness. And do not worry because we're going to blend all of this out, so it might look crazy right now, but just trust the process. I'm going to do around my mouth area. I normally get these little like creases, and I feel like it's either probably because I'm like dehydrated, but like smile lines low-key be the worst. And then now I'm just going to drag it kind of like underneath my nose. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with that same brush, and we are going to be mixing these two shades right here, Chocolate and Ash Brown. Mix the both of these. And whenever you are applying a contour, this is what I use to get like the perfect shape for my face. You want to use the top of your ear, so here, kind of like going towards the corner of your mouth. So you want to think of it as like a diagonal line that's already on your face. So what we're going to do is just draw that straight on there. And then I'm going to stipple that too. I love stippling only because when you go back in to blend it with the Beauty Blender, it makes it like 10 times easier for you. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. You want to follow the top of your ear. And I guess where you would stop would be like right on your eyebrow arch. Since we're still using a smaller brush, we're going to be using this to contour our nose as well. This is optional. I just like doing it because I feel like I want my nose to look snatched, and who the heck wouldn't? So period, I'm about to show you guys how to do this. So what you're going to do is, I don't follow it all the way up to my eyebrow. Like I see some people do that, and I feel like it'll kind of look unnatural under your makeup. So what you want to do is, I'm going to do it right where my tear duct is, like looking straight at yourself. Looking where your tear duct is, right there is where you're going to start it at, and then you're going to follow it down all the way to the bottom of your nose. So let me do this other side. It's so funny, I do like the weirdest faces whenever I'm doing this. It looks crazy right now, but trust the process, I swear. Next, you're gonna tilt your head back a tiny bit using like a mirror like I am at the bottom. You're gonna wanna make like a V. Just like that. And then afterwards, what I like to do is this little like line at the top to make it look like I have a little bit of a button nose. I'm gonna be using the Kosas Revealing Skin Improving Foundation, but this is in the shade Light, Medium, Neutral, Warm 190. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on my Real Techniques Beauty Blender. And I just do this all together because, to be honest, I'm not gonna sit there and blend it all out. Like, this needs to be quick. Like, she needs to be snatched, but on a time limit. And that's what she's giving. Normally I'll leave the nose last because I like to use the tip of this beauty blender once I'm done, just to go in and just blend everything out. A good tip for using a beauty blender too is you really want to make sure you're stippling. So you don't want to be like smudging it. I feel like I see a lot of people do that and you're just going to be like mushing your makeup all around. When you stipple it, it presses it into like your skin a little bit more, so it'll kind of help blend everything together a little bit more than like smudging it everywhere. So now for the nose, what we're gonna do is do one side like at a time. So this is normally what I like to do is I'll do the sides first. And I do still have like a little bit of foundation on my brush. Now we're just gonna go down the middle. Now that all that is blended, I'm gonna go in and show you guys where I'm gonna go back in and place my powder contour and my liquid concealer as well. I'm gonna go in with the Morphe concealer. This is in the shade C215. And then we're just gonna be placing this right under our eyes. So once again, you wanna use like certain points to determine where you're gonna put either your liquid concealer or your cream like highlight. So I'm gonna do the tear duct again. And then I'm also just gonna do right underneath the end of my eye, going towards the end of my eyebrow. I've been doing this instead of doing like a triangle underneath my eye, and I feel like it just kind of makes you look more like lifted, like more awake. It was a trend that I seen on TikTok, and one day I was like, oh, let me try this, see what it's about. And I feel like I haven't changed it since, just because I feel like it's not, first of all, you're gonna save on concealer because what? Not the two lines. But I just feel like you're not having like this full on like thick concealer type of look. It just looks more like natural. What we're gonna do is blend this going down towards our nose. You wanna kind of diffuse it out like right underneath your eye. For this corner part, what you're gonna wanna do is do not let it like go all the way up towards your eyebrow, but you just wanna have it like kind of right under, because you want that like negative space in between here, just to kind of give you like that lifted look. So that way if you do decide to go back in and do like a contoured like eyeshadow or anything like that, it won't look like you have like no space in between there. It'll kind of make your eye look more closed. And once that's already blended, what I like to do is go back in between my smile lines, and I'll just drag whatever product is left on the beauty blender and kind of get in between those creases. Now that our under eyes are done, you want to go back in and make sure you're setting your concealer before it completely like starts getting cakey. And I don't want to say cakey, but it's more in the sense of the concealer will part and kind of go into like the creases. And once you go back in and set it, it won't look like so like diffused like where it's supposed to be. You just want to make sure all that is diffused out of the creases. We're gonna go in with the One Size translucent powder. This stuff is amazing. If you've ever tried the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, this is like a really good dupe for that. Patrick Star really stepped his game up on this, because when I tell you, she's not gonna crease. I want to keep this super basic for you guys and like not be using like 1001 brushes, because I'm not gonna lie, I can't stand that. And especially on like a daily, that's like the last thing I want to be doing. But I also don't want to be using like a bunch of different things. I also want to like get through my makeup process a little bit quicker sometimes. And I'm just gonna stick with the beauty blender for this. Now what we're gonna do is kind of like look up, use a handheld mirror and just look up a little more And what you're gonna do is kind of like push it into any crease lines that you see. Don't be afraid to make the weird faces because it kind of just helps get into all the little nooks and crannies. Now what I'm going to do is set those areas where I get the crease lines around my mouth. I think once you wear makeup a little bit more, you'll kind of understand like, okay, these are spots where I kind of get crease lines, or this is where I need to put a little bit of translucent powder. What the powder is going to do is just help kind of set it and make sure that your makeup isn't going to bunch together. So you want to make sure you're using that in areas where, like, if you smile a lot, kind of honestly just anywhere you get oily as well, that's what you're going to use the powder for. Alright, now I'm just going to kind of blot this or whatever's left over on the beauty blender and just use it wherever I look a little shiny. Alright, so with baking, I really don't like to let it sit for that long just because I feel like I don't need like a halo of like translucent powder all over my face. That's just me personally. I just don't like the look of that. So what we're going to do is use this Real Techniques brush. This is the 402 brush. And what we're going to do is stipple this once again, kind of into the skin, and just make sure that it's set in all the places that it needs to be set in. And what I like to do is I'll drag some of the powder like down the nose because it's just gonna imitate the same placing that we use for like pretty much everything, for the contour on our nose and the highlight as well. I'm going to go in with some cream blush. This is in the shade Warm Coral from the Anastasia palette. I just took a little bit of that. You want to do a little bit at a time and just kind of like build this up. You still want to follow like that line that I told you about that's kind of like in between the top of your ear and the end of your eyebrow. So right around that middle area is where you're going to want to smile, and the highest points of your cheeks is where you're going to place the blush. So with this brush, this is an e.l.f. brush. I don't know. This is just like one of their stippling brushes. I've had this thing forever, so I really don't know what this is, but I know that Ulta has it because I do see it all the time. Or you can pretty much use any like stippling brush, something that's like more feathered, just so that way it'll look more airy and like kind of like an airbrush look. So what you're going to want to do is smile a little bit, and then you're just going to want to stipple it on just like we've been doing with everything else. And then what you're also going to want to do is kind of follow right above where that contour line is. So I'll start kind of like in this middle section and then just like carry it back, kind of like up towards your temples. This is just going to give you like that natural like flush look. Like I said, you also want to take a little bit at a time because I feel like you could easily use too much of this. And it's very hard to get off if you do use a cream blush. And I also like to dot it like right at that tip of the nose area. It'll just make it look super cute and give your face a little bit of a color. And then now I'm going back in with that Real Techniques brush again and just kind of making sure everything is really diffused and you don't have like any lines between the powder and the cream. Also, I forgot to mention, when you go in with the translucent powder, you want to make sure that you're not dragging it down too far. You only want to set like right underneath your eye with this, because when you go back in with creams, you want to make sure you're doing all your creams first before you mix it with the powder, because it will kind of like stick together more and it's going to make it 10 times harder for you to blend. So you really want to be careful with where you're placing it, but now I'm just kind of blending in any lines that I see. Alright, so now that we're done putting all of our creams on, we're going to go in with the contour kit by Anastasia. It's going to be these two at the bottom. This is the Huda Beauty brush. This is the Face Bake and Blend brush. We're going to go in with this chiseled end over here. Go right over where we added the cream contour. So like I said, at the top of your ear to the middle arch area of your eyebrow. What we're going to do is just take the brush and just feather it out. For our nose contour, what I like to do is use the same brush or whatever brush you're using. You're going to want to squeeze it at the top just so that way you kind of get like a smaller bristle. Use a little bit of the contour, and the same, we're going to apply it pretty much the same. So what you want to do is hold it like this, and then you're just going to follow the same line you used for the cream contour. I go back in with my Real Techniques brush again and just make sure that there are no harsh lines. And I'm just going to be stippling that again. I'm going to use the other side of this Huda Beauty brush, and I'm just going to blend it right underneath the contour. Just swipe it going like right under, so you get a little bit of like that blended, like, but also snatched contour. Guys, so now that we are done pretty much putting everything on, I'm going to be using the All Nighter by Urban Decay. This is the Ultra Glow Spray, and we're just going to be spraying that everywhere just to kind of help add a little bit of like shine to our skin, and just make sure our makeup lasts all day too. Guys, so I'm just going to finish letting this dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply a lip and maybe some eyeshadow, and I will be right back. Alrighty, you guys, so that is going to be it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am hoping that you guys kind of got something out of this. This is like basic highlighting and contouring. If you guys do decide to try this, make sure you tag me on Instagram. It's going to be at AritzaNicole_MUA. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.